Assalamu alaikum students, how are you all? I hope everyone will be fine at home. So dear students, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is the periodic table. In this chapter, inshallah, we will learn about uh, atom, its structure, an introduction to its structure, the history for the discovery of atom, atomic number, periodic table, molecules and compounds. So let's start with this chapter now. What is an atom? An atom is a fundamental piece of matter. What does it mean? That everything which is surrounding us is actually matter, and each type of matter is made up of this atom. So atom is the basic part or piece of a matter. An atom itself is made up of three kinds of subatomic particles. I hope most of you know about it, but let's have a look on it again. That is electron, proton, and neutron. These are the subatomic particles of an atom. As you can see in this diagram, that protons, which are colored over here in blue, and this red color balls, for your convenience, they are called as neutrons. Protons and neutrons are always present inside the atom, and it is called a nucleus. It is called a nucleus. While you can see that the electrons, they are revolving around the atom. Okay? So this electron always revolve around the atom, while this proton and neutron, they are present inside the atom, which is called its nucleus. So although scientists are able to find out a great deal about atoms, scientists currently believe that an atom consists of a dense nucleus surrounded by a cloud of negatively charged electrons. Now, let's have a look on this picture again. Dear students, you can see, and as I already mentioned, that the electrons revolve around the nucleus, and these electrons are negatively charged particles. They are negatively charged particles, and the atoms are surrounded by a sort of cloud of electrons around the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, as I mentioned earlier, protons and neutrons are present. So let's look over here. Protons are positively charged particles. Electrons are negatively charged particles, while protons are the positively charged particles, and the neutrons, which are also present inside the nucleus, they are having no charge. They are neutral. They are neutral. So over here they say that the nucleus contains positively charged particles, means protons, and it is surrounded by negatively charged particles, which are the electrons. So both positive and negative charges cancel out each other, and electrically an atom becomes a neutral particle or a neutral part. Okay, so the nucleus contains positively charged protons and electrically neutral neutrons, but it is surrounded by, almost in a few cases, there is a contradiction between the number of protons and neutrons, but generally in an atom the number of protons and neutrons is always equal, so they cancel out each other by equal number of positive charges and with the equal number of negative charges. Now, scientists have been taken over 100 years to produce this atomic model, and work is still going on. Okay, so let's have a look on these scientists, which you can see over here. That is John Dalton, Joseph John Thomson, Ernest Rutherford, and Niels Bohr. Okay, so first of all, John Dalton. He was the first scientist who worked out that everything was made up of atoms. Dalton found out that water could only evaporate into the air if water and air were made of particles that could mix together. Means when they will combine, only then the water can evaporate. Dalton then had the idea that everything is made of particles which could not be broken down into anything smaller. So he called these particles as atoms. Dalton also thought that different atoms had different weights and did experiments to prove it. Next scientist who worked a lot on the discovery of atom was Joseph John Thomson. J.J. Thomson had the idea that there were particles even smaller than the atoms. He used a cathode ray tube. Thomson discovered the existence of a subatomic particle that is called electron. Means J.J. Thomson discovered about electrons actually. In Thomson's atomic model, most of the space in an atom is made up of positively charged material with lots of tiny negatively charged electrons scattered throughout. So John Thomson actually gave the concept of subatomic particles. Which subatomic particles? Electron, protons, and neutrons. Then is the discussion on Ernest Rutherford. He actually studied with J.J. Thomson at Cambridge University in England. And in 1911, he fired a beam of positive particles against thin gold foil, expecting them all to pass straight to them. So he did an experiment and discovered about the positively charged particles present in the nucleus along with the electrons whizzing about in the space around it. And then last but not the least is the Niels Bohr. He made a very important model that is now called as Bohr's atomic model. So Bohr and Rutherford developed the atomic model further by suggesting that electrons orbit the nucleus at high speed in fixed orbits around the nucleus. So the Rutherford-Bohr atomic model helps us to explain the periodic table. So that's just a review of the early scientists who worked about the discovery of an atom. So after that, students, there is a link over here. You watch this video carefully, and I hope that after watching this video, you will be able to understand more about the discovery of atom by the different scientists which I had discussed earlier. Thank you for watching this slide. I hope you have understood it. If you have any query, you can contact me through WhatsApp or on the Google Class. Thank you.